Good afternoon, everyone. It's a beautiful day here in Yaba, Lagos, Nigeria. The clouds are still murky somehow. It's raining, but it's beautiful because the temperature and the atmosphere look so cool and wonderful. We want to welcome you to yet another wonderful episode of the Yaba Voice webinar. Today promises to be really exciting. And also, it's also the celebration of the International Women's Day. No, it's still the month. Yes, the day has passed, but we're still celebrating ourselves. It's allowed. And so I want to say Happy International Women's Day to every woman who is on this platform. Or for the men, oh, you are part of the celebration. So Happy International Women's Day to all our men who are joining us today too. All right, so it's wonderful having you. Like we promised, we have something really exciting for us today. We're going to be looking at certain realities. But before we go into the main discussion for today, the medical director, who is also the chief host of the Yaba Voice webinar, Dr. Oluwayemi Cecilia Ogun, would welcome us formally to this webinar. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are listening to us all over the world. Today we are talking about women's mental health, the realities. On the 8th of March of every year, we do celebrate International Women's Day, as it has been declared by the United Nations. Then in Europe and Africa, women were further celebrated, like on the 14th of March, we celebrated our mothers. Yaba Voice to celebrate women all over the world and to focus on our profession and what we do here, we decided to talk today about the mental health of women. People, especially men, have asked, why do you talk about women all the time? Are we not important? At Yaba Voice, we celebrate men, we celebrate women, youth, adolescents, and children, because we do know that the mental health of every individual is unique and important. So, as we make this world a livable place. One of the realities about women's mental health we will encounter today is that it is a very wide topic. We cannot be fully discussed within 1 hour. That is the time allotted to this program. Just like the last topic we dealt with, the emotional problems
All right. We're sorry about that. The network, it's a bit fluctuating. Don't forget when I started, I said it's been raining all morning here. So please experience some technical itch when it comes to the network, but we will do virtually everything that's in our power here to ensure that we get the best out here for you today. We're definitely working on it to ensure that you hear us properly and you also get the right information. The medical director had started welcoming us. She's still going to go back to part of what she was saying, but I know and I heard her say that we celebrate everyone here because the mental health of every individual, be it man, be it women, be it a child or adolescent, the mental health is very important to us as individual and as Yaba Voice. And that's why Yaba Voice exists. What we want to do is that we want to provide quality mental health information to everyone out there so that we will better equip and then we will be able to function adequately. And that's why Yaba Voice exists. And so we will be able to talk so much about this today and how we will be able to push on to make the world a better place and also more enriching. The medical director also said that yes, it's the International Women's Day, which was celebrated some few days ago, and also in UK and some parts of the world, they also celebrated Mother's Day. Women are important, and that's why there is a day that has been secluded for them specially. This day is just like it's just for you as a woman to be celebrated. If it's not too much, I would love that you send into the comment box what or how you celebrated your day as a woman. What did you do? Were you taking? How did you take a rest? What was it particularly that you did, even to make sure that you had maximum enjoyment on that day? Don't ask me what I did. It was just a day in church, and after church, okay, my children remember to say Happy Mother's Day. My husband did not remember. I don't know if he's watching now, but then, that's an indictment against him. So I will take it back on him. But then it's a beautiful one out there. But then we want to just say Happy Mother's Day once again to every woman here. Yes, we know that other nations of the world, some might still celebrate theirs. But then we know, just give yourself a pat, even if no one celebrates you. I celebrate myself every day. Oh, you're doing well. And it's a beautiful day out there. The medical director is coming on shortly, and we will be able to take her as we move on. But then again, like I said, Yaba Voice exists to ensure that the world is better. Yaba Voice exists to ensure that things move on the way they should. Yaba Voice exists so that things can, better information, better knowledge can also be passed across to make our world a better place. So we won't be starting this discussion today. Somebody asked and said, who is a woman? I saw an advert. I don't know if you had seen something like that before. And an Instagram post, I said, who is a woman? And the response was, has Google, and then Google was like, it was searching and searching and searching. And it seems to be searching all through generation. And it has not been able to find the answer. I don't know if you have found the answer. I don't know if anybody has been able to find the answer. But the question still remains, who is a woman? We cannot talk about the woman's mental health without first of all understanding who a woman is. And that is where we are going to start today, because if you don't understand something, you can't give the right information about it, or you can't even treat it well. People would assume there are lots of realities I will talk about today, because we're looking at women's mental health, the realities. Some say, oh, women, they like to be pampered, women are like emotional. Are we all that? Some people would even come and say, oh, women are gullible. Are we all that? Is that what it's all to being a woman? Are there other potentials? Are there other things that a woman should be, or should also be able to take up? So we'll be looking at all of these today, and we'll be able to look at these realities. And the last time I was wrapping up the webinar, I was saying the good, the bad, and the ugly. Seemingly, it might look like, oh, you're tagging them. No, we're not tagging them. What is the reality that a woman has to go through? There are the good parts, there are the bad part, there are the ugly experiences that a woman had. Somebody just said it was a day in church, but good enough. Thank you for that response. I love the fact that somebody sent in our own response on how she was able to spend a day. And the response is that it was a good day in church. Likewise, that was what I did. So it was a good day in church for this particular individual who was able to have a good day in church. But a 5-year-old boy wrote a note and gave me, telling me how much he loves me. Oh God, this is just making me to blush all over and over again. So thank you to that 5-month-old. All right, so the medical director is back. We're going to go back to her. Over to you, ma'am, once again.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mrs. Oluwakemi Akintoyeshe. Well, this is the new normal. Things continue to break, and sometimes they are okay. Now, as I was saying, we are talking about women's health. We will talk about how the evolutionary development of women, but one reality about women's health that we will encounter is, like I told you, is a very wide topic. And as much as possible, we'll try to talk about some specifics while we leave some other things out. Today, we shall be looking at the evolutionary development of women, how she originated, that is the spiritual aspects, as physiology, the psychology, and sociocultural roles, and how all these have impacted our mental health. But we should always all know that there is no single factor that can explain the mental challenges a woman goes through. The multiple factors do combine to cause mental health challenges. To discuss this topic today are myself, the Chief Host of Yaba Voice and Medical Director of the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba. I dare say I have no conflict of interest, but I'm a woman. And my name still remains Dr. Oluwayemi Cecilia Ofun. I have been a mental health professional for over 30 years. The second speaker is Mrs. Modupe Olamotojesi, who is also a woman. She too has been in mental health profession for over 10 years. Currently, she's a consultant psychiatrist in charge of assessment and triaging of patients at the Federal Neuropsychiatric Hospital, Yaba emergency room. And by the virtue of her training and what she does in the hospital, women's mental health and wellness is one of our interests. She is a fellow of the West African College of Physicians and has masters in managerial psychology. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to this virtual program as I hand you over again to our moderator who has been doing beautifully well, a woman of substance and a mental health professional herself, whose anchoring of Yaba Voice has been applauded from far and near. Over to you again, Mrs. Oluwakemi Akintoyeshi.
You just don't know what that did to me. I'm blushing just because I am not fair in color. You will have seen all these red patches all over me. Oh boy, that is so good, ma. I love and celebrate you. So please let's celebrate ourselves. Every woman just give yourself a pat. All right, so we're going to go into the main discussion. Remember, we have just a few minutes, but then please know that we are streaming live on Facebook. And so if you are not able to join us here on the Zoom link, please join us on Facebook. And please remember to send a note to someone that yes, this is on. Every woman should be here to learn and to understand what this basic information is also all about. If you have questions or comments, please remember to drop them in the chat box. We will be able to take all questions as much as we can, as much as possible because of the time. So I'm going to hand off over back to the medical director, who is also going to tell us about this topic of discussion, mental health in women or women's mental health, the realities. We have a lot to talk about. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you again, Mr. Oluwakemi Akintoyeshi. Yes, we are still talking about mental health of women, women's mental health, the realities. And part of the reality is that the question, who is a woman? And to talk about who a woman is, we turn to the Holy Book, the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verses 21 to 23. And there, the Bible describes how God made woman out of the rib of man and brought her, quotes, brought her unto man, unquote. And Adam said, she, quotes, quoting Adam, she shall be called woman because she was taken out of man. This tells us about the evolutionary history of woman. In many, many cases, she's similar and at the same time different from man. We cannot speak about women without drawing out both similarities as well as differences from men. We are talking about mental health of women. What is this mental health? It's not just mere lack of mental disorders. Health has been defined by WHO as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Mental health of a woman refers to her psychological or emotional well-being. Mental health is a state of well-being of this woman, whereby she recognizes her ability, she's able to cope with the normal stresses of life. She is able to work productively and fruitfully, and she can make contribution to our communities. This woman's mental health is how she thinks, how she feels, how she behaves, how life affects her, how she copes with it, how she engages with others, and the choices that she's able to make. Rather than the absence of mental health problems, mental health refers to the presence of positive characteristics in the woman. When a woman has good mental health, she has a sense of meaning and purpose in both activities and relationships. She has flexibility to learn new skills and adapt to change. She must have a balance between work and play, between rest and activity. She's able to build and maintain fulfilling relationships. And of course, she has self-confidence and has high self-esteem. Mental health problems affect society as a whole, but the risk is higher among women, who are usually the majority among the poor, the homeless, the unemployed, persons with low education, victims of violence, migrants and refugees, abused women, and neglected elderly. Having said that, how does biology or the physiology of women impact on their mental health? First of all, we talk about sex of the woman. The difference between male and female sexes are both anatomical and physiological. Male and female sex organs are different, both internally and externally. Genetic factors define sex of an individual. In normal female, you have what we call XX chromosomes, while the normal male has XY chromosomes. Associated with this are the levels and types of sex hormones like estrogen, testosterone, progesterone that are different in both sexes. Women have higher levels of estrogens and progesterone, while men have higher levels of testosterone. This estrogen and progesterone are important in the woman for the sexual and reproductive development. They help to regulate the woman's menstrual cycle, and both play important roles and are responsible for the changes that take place during pregnancy. These neurosteroids, as they are called, play significant roles in modulation of certain brain chemicals, which we call neurotransmitters. These chemicals include dopamine, noradrenaline, serotonin, glutamate, and acetylcholine. For example, serotonin, one of these chemicals in the brain, regulates our mood, digestion, sleep, and bone health. It has been found that in normal males, the synthesis, the production of this serotonin is reported to be about 52% higher than in the normal females. And this is a remarkable difference, and it's said to be a factor relevant in the lower incidence of major depression in males. This low level of serotonin in females has been implicated, or when serotonin is low, it's been implicated in mental health problems like depression, anxiety, aggression, bulimia, and suicide. Of course, we know that women tend to attempt suicide more, while completed suicide are more in men. What all this tells us is that the brain chemistry in the female and male are wired. Due to the brain chemistry, it shows that the brain of the woman is wired differently from that of man. Related to this sex is the gender issue. When we talk about gender, it refers to the characteristics of women, men, girls, and boys that the society has constructed and expects. It includes the norms, the roles, and the behaviors that are associated with their sexes of being women, men, girls, or boys, and the relationship they have with each other. It varies from society to society. For example, like in Saudi Arabia, until recently, they said women were not supposed to drive. That is their gender role. And these gender roles are different in different societies. Although we do know in every society, some roles are universal. In all societies, women are the ones that are carrying pregnancy. So the degree of decision-making, financial responsibilities expected of each gender, and the time spent in homemaking and child rearing varies between all the cultures. But we do know that within the wider culture, families too have their own norms. For example, in some homes, only girls sweep, do household chores, like in some places, when they divide roles among boys and girls, boys will be washing cars. It's part of the gender role that when somebody goes to climb a tree to pluck mangoes, it's usually boys that will find there. Showing that gender is what an individual or the society view about themselves. It is our personal sense of being a man or woman. Mental health, we should know, is gendered. What we mean by that is that the patterns and forms are different of mental illnesses are different in men and women because they are exposed to different factors and vulnerabilities. Some social factors like violence, poverty, gender inequalities in wages, and unemployment affect women more. Even the political power, we have very few women attaining such political power. And that's why people say it's a man's world. And the social roles are different. There are biology, the gender differences, there are gender differences in drug metabolism, in brain circuitry, as we have said. That is the way the brains are wired differently, and even in genetic transmission of diseases. So we say that psychiatric illnesses are present differently in men and women because these gender differences in psychological, there are gender differences in their psychological responses as well as their defenses. So to highlight these gender differences, for example, we have twice more women than men experience depression. Twice more women than men experience anxiety disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and even attempted suicide. Also, 3 times more women than men experience bulimia and anorexia, whereas we have 1 out of 12 women develop alcohol dependence during their lives, which is relatively low compared to that of men. So throughout the lives of women, there is a risk for various mental health problems. And this fluctuates along with reproductive changes, like the menstrual cycle, childbirth, and menopause. Depression provides particular clear evidence for these strong links. Girls are at much greater risk of depression at puberty than boys. And then there will be a relatively increased risk that continues throughout adulthood, rising during transition to menopause and falling again after menopause. So, for example, where we talk about depression in women, include things like their premenstrual syndrome, or what we call premenstrual dysphoric disorder, when around the menstrual time, when some women encounter some mental health problems. We have also depression due to oral contraceptive pills that only women feel. We have what we call postnatal depression, which may be just postnatal blues, and then it may be deeper than that to go to postpartum depression. We have depression that are associated with periods around menopause in women. All these are biological impacts on the mental health of women. But we should know that biological parameters alone cannot explain the variability we see in mental health of women. There are also social determinants to their health challenges. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, ma'am. It's like somebody just drop cold water on me, plus the cold weather and the AC here. You don't understand. When she just went on to start reading some of these things that happens to women, we begin to wonder, excuse me, does it happen to men too? I don't know if that thought is going on in your mind too. But then we would look at so many other things as we go on, even in this webinar today. But she talks about responsibility, she talks about roles that had been casted for a woman, which also puts them in positions that makes them very vulnerable. I'm still going to ask her about some of these specific factors that makes a woman to be vulnerable, especially when we now leave the biological. You know, she mentioned that girls are at greater risk of depression, even at the younger age. Now, not to talk about now being adult, which now further needs the situation. But these are more and more things. Please remember, you can drop your questions and your comments in the chat box. We would love to hear from you. We would love to also attend to all of those things. She went on to talk about postnatal depression. The woman goes through quite a lot. But then we will also look at the solutions while we're looking at some of these problems. And now to take us further in this discussion, we're still looking at women's mental health, the reality. Dr. Motojese is here, who is also going to share her thoughts with us on this topic that we are considering today. Over to you, Dr. Motojese.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for this opportunity to talk to you about women's mental health. The previous speaker had already highlighted so many factors related to women's mental health. So I'll just reinforce on some other factors before I expatiate on what the realities of mental health in women have. Okay, so culturally, there are certain roles, there are certain expectations a woman is supposed to play. We all know that in our society, women are nurturers. We even have adages that say that train up a woman and then you have trained a nation. Imagine the challenges and implications of such a simple statement. These have impacts on the mental health of women. So also, we also say that religiously, there are certain religious expectations and roles that different religions have in terms of women's display. In many societies today, even though the world is moving at a very fast pace, we know that certain places, women are supposed to be seen and not to be heard. Women are supposed to be homemakers. Women are supposed to keep the environment serene and peaceful at all times, but not to be heard. And this varies from society to society. In more developed societies, women are contending with more. They are contending with keeping a home. They are contending with nurturing their corporate careers, trying to rise to the norm. And then there's also a lot of competition and a lot of conflicts of interest for a woman. So you may be saying, how do all these factors, how do all these things affect a woman's mental health? The truth of the matter is that every individual is a sum total of his or her experiences. And these experiences impact the mental health of an individual. Essentially, mental health is expected to be a balance of moods, thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, resulting in productivity. Productivity in terms of emotional well-being, productivity in terms of being able to be productive on the job, in the community, and to have healthy interpersonal relationships. So if a woman is going through, has all these roles to play, and we must understand that the influence of all these roles is across the lifespan of a woman. And at every point in time, a woman is juggling many hats at the same time, juggling the hats of keeping the home, juggling the hats of providing for the home. In fact, economically, women are playing a major role today. In a country like Nigeria, we are saying, statistics have shown that most of the small-scale businesses, micro-small-scale businesses, entrepreneurship is run by about 80% of women. So imagine this women also have other roles to play. When a child has a problem in the school, it is the woman that will first be called. So a woman is carrying a lot of weight, and this has direct impact on the mental health of a woman. And this impact that we say is that what we mean by impact on the mental health of a woman is that how is a woman supposed to be mentally healthy in spite of the roles she is playing in the community? There must be a balance. A woman must be able to be balanced in order to be able to express herself successfully. Once there is a change in a woman's mental health expression, we begin to see changes. We begin to see things like irritability, withdrawal to self. We begin to see that a woman is beginning to complain of things like poor sleep and all. And all these are a direct reference to the well-being of a woman. So first and foremost, let us talk about how to optimize, have a balance of mental wellness, despite the roles a woman is carrying. So optimizing mental wellness means that, one, a woman must be self-aware. If you are not self-aware enough, you will not be able to realize the strengths and the weaknesses you have as an individual. And when you realize the strengths and the weaknesses you have, you will be able to embrace improvement in terms of self-improvement to be more productive. Two, a woman juggling all these responsibilities needs support from women, needs support from men, needs support from every individual in the society, needs support on the job, needs support everywhere she goes to. So a woman must learn to receive support, must learn to also give support. Another thing that helps to optimize the mental wellness of a woman is celebrating successes. Imagine the juggling acts a woman is juggling. We are juggling so many hats. And many women do not even pause to celebrate minute successes. They do not pause to celebrate the fact that, oh, today, I made it through today intactly without any problems on the home front. I was able to deliver on the job. Those are reasons to celebrate. A woman must learn to celebrate successes. This boosts mental well-being. Also, in optimizing mental wellness in a woman must learn to rest. Imagine going about all these activities 24 hours in a day without resting. Some women, when they even lie down on the bed at night, they are still thinking of how they did not put the soup in the freezer, how they had not ironed the school uniform for the next day. And their minds are all over the place, despite the fact that their bodies are on the bed. Optimizing the mental wellness in a woman requires adequate rest. Also, a woman must learn to have balance. In the midst of all these pursuits of personal well-being, pursuits of family well-being, pursuits of career successes and all. There must be a balance. We cannot afford, women cannot afford to choose too many things at the same time. You must be able to say that this is what requires my attention now, and this can be postponed till later for the optimal well-being of the woman. Now, on the other side, when mental illness, ill health begins to set in, what are the signs to look out for? We have heard from the previous speaker that epidemiologically, there are certain mental illnesses that are more common in women. We are talking of things like anxiety disorder. We talk about things like depression. We talk about things like eating disorder. These things are usually, apart from genetic causation, they are usually a sum total of the order of all these roles a woman is expected to play. So now, how do you look out for mental well-being, mental ill health, sorry. Usually, the body gives signs. The body lets you know when you are stressed. It may initially start with things like inability to sleep, inability to concentrate, being unduly irritable, being cranky, being unhappy within you, being fearful, okay? So when these things begin and you do not nip them in the bud, they may become things that are greater and become full-blown mental diagnosis. So these are the realities of the mental health of a woman. Realities in terms of optimal well-being, realities in terms of mental health. And so the society at large needs to join hands together to support women in their journeys. Today we are saying the future is women. The future is here and it is now. And women need to be need to be supported well to have optimal mental well-being, to be able to successfully deliver the future. So every individual, whether male or female, young or old, must support a woman at every level. You can be the eyes of a woman. You can call the attention of a woman when you feel that the hearts she's juggling have become too many. You can help them to pay attention to their health. You can help them to seek help very early. Thank you very much.
Oh, this is a wow. You know, when you hear something like this, wow. I want to appreciate you, Dr. Motojeshi, for this. You know, I am seeing something that not everybody will be able to see, but maybe by the virtue of the screen I'm using, Dr. JJ, I can see you just trying to look at this. She's trying to, how did you see me with a child carrying a baby and trying to rock her to sleep, making sure that she doesn't disturb and listen to the well done. Kudos to you. I celebrate you, ma'am. Well done. So. All right. So, Dr. Motojeshi has spoken so well. And you know, kept mentioning balance. And somebody has sent a question to me privately that we're talking about that balance. So we'll take you up on that. So just begin to prepare your mind for that. But then before we go on, she talks about you must be aware as a woman. And that is very important. Who are you? What makes you up? You must embrace self-improvement. You need to work on yourself. Some women have let go. You ask a woman, who are you? She doesn't know, aside from her husband's name or mama, whatever it is that she has given birth to. You are more than the mother of the child that you're carrying. You are more than the wife of that man that you got married to. You are also an individual. You have your own identity. You have your own life, your goals, and your own potentials. The moment you let go of who you are, it's like leaving one limb back, and then you can move forward effectively. It's going to draw you back. And that's what I hear her say today. You celebrate your success, not until you buy a car before you can say, oh, today I have achieved greatness. Whether you tell me or not on this platform today that I'm even talking is greatness for me. So well done, Oluwakemi. You're doing very well. Again, you know, it's a switch off. Sometimes, you know, what she said is so. Yesterday, as I was coming in, the girl who stays with me had gone to school. And so as I was dropping my bag, apparently I even dropped it in the sitting room. I was ironing because there was light. And so I knew that, you know, some schools now have special days for uniform and every other thing. And so, which uniform is it for tomorrow? Is the one that we have not ironed? You know, I had to start doing that. Have you eaten? You can imagine. And so even when you are sleeping, you do not shut down. And then remember now say, oh, I am having sleep problem, sleep disorder. Why won't we? And then at the end of the day, because of the stress, we keep eating and eating and eating. Very soon, we now say we are doing dieting. We want to go on keto diet. We want to do this and every other thing. It's a huge load on women. Then we're going to take the medical director now, and we're going to look at it. What are those factors, the psychological factors that makes a woman physically vulnerable in our society? Let's bring it down home. In our own society, what are those psychological factors that makes a woman to be vulnerable to mental health issues? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Akitoyeshi. There are so many vulnerable factors in the woman. For example, there's a lot of inequalities in health issues. For example, there's lack of accessibility to healthcare. Very many places, women will need to take permission from husbands before they even access care. Whereas a man will go all the way and can travel, they travel far and near to access their own care, health care. Mental health care is very far from the women. It's not easily available. If we talk about affordability, women are of low socioeconomic status. They don't even have the money. You know, in Nigeria, mostly it's out of pocket. Most health services are out of pocket, but they don't even have that money to pay for the services. And then when you talk about acceptability of care, let's say so people come, do they even accept it? Because they are the ones that have low educational status, they are not easily ready to accept the healthcare. They are not ready to accept what the services that you want to come and give to them. Women have a lot of burden of unpaid work. Many of them are doing menial jobs that they will not even be able to pay. And they take part in caregiving roles, which many people don't think is anything. Nobody thinks about a woman taking care of a 3-month-old baby that you have to, Ms. Akito just talked about a woman on this, one of our doctors in faraway Australia, trying to rock a baby to sleep. She's not paid for that. A 3-month-old baby will cry, will suckle breast. In this caregiving, women's mental health are challenged, but nobody thinks, well, it's a woman, that is our role. They have low access to financial decision making. They cannot just make, many women don't even have enough money to even do that. And then when they are there, they must take permission. Some of them will have to take permission from their husbands. And then many women experience childhood maltreatment. They are the homemakers. Even starting from being a girl, they go there and then, oh, you have not, I asked you to sweep this room, you have not swept it, you have not done this, and they get beaten for it. Boys are on the field playing football, and nobody is looking at them. And also, these women, these girls, they are maltreated as well as have issues of sexual abuse. When they are married, they are exposed to violence perpetrated by intimate partner. And many women even fail to disclose this. Their work, they don't have many jobs that they are doing. And very many of them are less likely to know about preventative health strategies and even to participate in it. So all these added together make a woman to be vulnerable. And even if we think about being elderly, many women in the village, people drop other children to them for them to take care of. Nobody ever thinks about caring for them. Nobody ever thinks about taking care of them. Many women are involved in unpaid jobs. And these tend to affect both their physical and mental health. And nobody ever thinks that they are actually suffering. They think is their role, which they must play. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma, for that response. You know what the medical director just rounded up with now is what caught my attention. They think it's their role. And so you must do it. When you back a child, you see, I don't know if you've seen it. You see a woman that is pregnant would back a child, a 3-year-old child, pregnant, back a child, now carry water on her head. And it just is her role. And then she would still drop it, wash the clothes, bathe, do a lot of other things like that. And what we are saying today is that all of this makes a woman to be susceptible, vulnerable to mental health issues. And so if care is not taken, there's going to be lots of problems. The woman gets, and that's why you see a 30-something-year-old woman seemingly looking like 60, aging fast before our time. And that has also been found in several researches too, that it affects how a woman, the length of life that a woman lives, and how they look at the end of the day. And then that would lead me to I'm going to ask Dr. Mutujese this next question. How do we create balance as women? Yes, you have told us some of the signs to look out for. You have told us how to help other women, or when we recognize some of the signs, what are the things that we should do to help them to access help and other things like that. But how can a woman use her own hand to now create balance that would help her to be able to function adequately? She's talked about one mantra. A woman is like there was this drawing that I saw somewhere that a woman was a tailor, a fashion designer, a cook. She had so many roles. But how do we create a balance that is effective that would help us to move on well? Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you for this question. All right. Okay, good. So how does a woman with her own hands create balance? The first thing is to seek knowledge. You must be knowledgeable. You must be knowledgeable. A lot of acts women juggle can be reduced to very few and increase productivity. So the first thing is knowledge. We must empower the female child with education. And education is not just within the four walls of a school. Education in the environment, understanding the culture, understanding the principles, and how a woman can balance herself within the culture. It is very important. So knowledge is the first thing I would emphasize upon. Secondly, we must equip women on this journey called life. Equipping women in terms of, you must be able to encourage a woman's self-confidence. From childhood, build the self-confidence of women. Do not tell your girl child that she is not meant to be seen. She's only meant to be heard. You shouldn't do things like that. Equip them with these soft skills from childhood. As they grow older, they will reinforce these soft skills. And this will help them to become more in the society, stronger on the job, stronger in a marriage, stronger in the society. Okay, today, because of several women and several men that had been equipped, that had equipped women, that is why today we have this platform. I can speak because I'm standing on the shoulders of giants. So we must ensure that we equip women with every tool they need. Another factor that I would also say for a woman to realize, we need mentors. Women need mentors. At this stage of my life, I still need mentors. Women especially need mentors. The woman must be able to look for people to mentor her on the journey of life. Mentor her on how to be a successful corporate person, if that is what she chooses to do. Mentor her, even if a woman decides to say that I want to be a housewife, she needs a mentor. Mentor her on how to be able to parent a child. Many times people get married and they just say, oh, congratulations, you are married. And 9 months later, you welcome a baby. They say, congratulations. Nobody's asking you how you feel. Everything is congratulations. And sometimes the woman looks within herself and says, I don't even want all this. This is not what I want. Okay, so we need mentors. Mentors to help you, they serve as guides. And finally, a woman must understand her environments. You must understand the nitty-gritty of the environment. You cannot be walking around blindly and say that I didn't even know that was the tradition of this particular sect. No, understand the culture of the environment. Even if you are living in a developed country now, understand the culture. Understand how you fit into this culture, how you can surmount the weaknesses of the culture, how you can come out and shine like a diamond. Thank you.
All right, thank you so very much. Honestly, today has been enriching and enlightening for me. She went on to say, seek knowledge. And do you know, it's unfortunate that a lot of women, mothers, don't know. And because they don't know, they pass ignorance down to their generation. And so what we now have is generations of ignorant people carrying myths that are not relevant, carrying ideologies that cannot help them. Let me give you one, and I want the medical director to respond to that. I once saw a young lady who the husband physically and verbally and psychologically abused, took her out, stripped her naked, beat. You say when they say somebody beat nonsense out of somebody, this man beat nonsense out of her. And then eventually she went back home and like crying home with her baby and every other thing. And the mother said, go back home or go back to your home. I don't know how to say this in English. Please permit me. Ile oko is ile eko. That your husband's house is meant to be a training ground. Excuse me, who does that, ma'am? I don't know. Do you have a solution for that? Is that what it actually should be?
Thank you, Mr. Akitoyeshi. One thing is that parents should be pillars to their children. And when girls talk, when women talk, we all need to listen to them. Other than learning how to cope with differences in character in a marital situation, husband should understand wife should understand a wife. Nobody gets married to learn about character flaws. It's very common among our mothers. If the woman goes back home to her parents, they will say, Odale Moshu. We have to know that we are not getting married. These ladies are not getting married to start learning how to tolerate drunkenness in a man or how to tolerate beatings. How can you say that woman should go and start learning? What did you teach her as she grew up with you up to the time she got married? Nobody gets married to learn laziness in a man or woman. Please, when daughters talk to you, we have seen so many cases like this in the mental health profession. When your daughters talk to you about the challenges they are going through in their marriage, be a pillar of support. Do all you can to help this woman. While I don't advocate for breakup of marriages, when you have done all you could to help your daughter to swim through that murky waters and the marriage is not working out, please, mother, please, father, support her if she decides to leave. Otherwise, you parents, you will be the loser in the end. After all, they say, dead men don't bite. So once she dies, she cannot complain again. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, ma. Yes, we don't advocate that there be separation or diverse. But excuse me, when see, there is more to the issue of marriage than we can even handle on this platform. Because sometimes we have people, men who have personality disorders, who have gotten married. And when you now live with such men, it could be very problematic. Narcissistic men, oh God, you don't want to meet with them. It could be very terrible. And then you now ask your daughter to go back and live with such men. Oh man, you are sending her right there to hell. That means that hell has just begun here on earth. And that is going to be a big problem. All right, so Dr. Morton, there's a question here from you. I'm trying to just get there on Somebody was talking about the fact that her husband is not her in Nigeria, and so she has to, please, what can help, or what can help my kind of woman to maintain balance? I live separately with my husband, who is outside the country, and also cater for all the needs because presently my husband has no source of income. I am already getting weary. How can we help this woman? This was privately sent to me. All right.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, I commiserate with you and I understand your situation. Even beyond what you have written out, I can imagine your challenges. Well, this is the situation you find yourself in. But first and foremost, you need to have a honest conversation with your husband. Okay, both of you must decide what you want. If what you have now is working for you, good. If what you have is not working for you, try and create solution. It is a team. You are working as a team and not working separately. Okay. Secondly, you are alone with children and all the other factors. I would advise that try to outsource things that you does not need your attention directly. Outsource them. Let people help you. Learn to embrace help, receive help, so that you can be super productive and you will not always be tired. Thirdly, you need to manage your emotions well, because I can understand how your emotions are roller coaster all over the place. Many times you have challenges that you need to speak to your husband about, but it's not there. It's not there at that point in time. You have to make on the spot decisions. You just have to make a decision before you call someone that is a million miles away. I can imagine. If you have support within your neighborhood, and you can get support from your family members, wise people around you, you should be able to have a good relationship with them so that it can help you through the situations. And finally, after having done all, please learn to rest. Leave what you cannot do. It does not define you as a failure in any way. It does not qualify you as a failure. Rest. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Moto Jesse. Somebody said, or she just said now, and I'm reiterating, rest, rest, rest. And I'm going to put a fourth rest. Please rest. You know what we do oftentimes is because we have not done the assignment, or we have not done. 2 days ago, I wanted to sleep. I was just like, oh God, today I'm sleeping early. And then I just said, they gave us a comprehension. And they said, is half play better than, oh Jesus. I had to now go back to school myself. They did not give this child the assignment. They gave us. I had to just get up. Sunday, we were writing a decimal number from 1 to 200. Can you imagine? At the point in time, I took it. I said, let me be writing the number. You'll be writing the figure, Roman figure itself. That's what. But then sometimes, please, after everything all said and done, take time to rest. And that's what she's meant earlier on when she said switch off. A lot of us don't know how to switch off. We start from 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning till in the evening, and we are not able to just separate what we need to be able to do. It's been a very wonderful one today. I can see comments coming on. Oh, for those, yes, thank you so much. Yaba Voice, we want to appreciate Yaba Voice. Thank you for appreciating us. This is what we aim to do, and we hope to do more of it. We are doing this because you're joining us in each of our webinars, and we want to appreciate you for always coming in. Yes, please, somebody said, don't get married in order to live separately. And that's what Dr. Mochaji said earlier on. It's a team approach. And if you don't know how to do a teamwork, excuse me, you will suffer. Try and reunite. Look for how to just make things. This is not even doing so well out there. Why doesn't he come back home? And then you now try something better. Yes, well done, Yaba Voice. Thank you, Professor Eileen Oshinowo. We appreciate you each time you're always joining us. Thank you for that wonderful comment, Suma. Somebody said, yes, switch off. Yes, that's very important. We need to be able to take a break in all of this. But then part of the ugly that we want to also look at, Dr. Ugo, is that sometimes a woman does it, keeps going on to the point that she now breaks down finally. What word do we have for people like that? What can we How can we help them? Yes, what is like giving your final words like to women out there before they now break down. And somebody once asked me, why women? Earlier on, when the medical director was talking, she said, why women? Why are we celebrating women? But then the question again is, when you get to the hospital too, you find that it's more of women. Why women? Why women? Why women in the world? Why women breaking down with mental health issues? Why more women breaking down with depression and other things like that? Why women? Why women? Dr. Oluyemisi Cecilia Ogun, what is your word for women out there?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much again. Women, women, women. Well, like we have said in this webinar, take things easy. Go slow. Switch off when the time comes. Don't use all your time at work and work. Always maintain a balance between your activities and rest as much as possible. Don't wait until you get to that final breakdown before you switch off. So women out there, please take things easy. Tomorrow is another day.
Thank you so much, Ma. Take things easy, switch off, learn to relax, learn to just, please, a boundary. Oftentimes a lot of women becomes, I don't know the English word. Irritability is small English word. You just talk about crying. Women begin to cry. As in, they now become like a bulldog in the house. Did you do this? Did you do that? Before you get to that point, please learn to switch off. Love yourself, appreciate yourself, value yourself. Yes, Professor Ellie Noshinawa just sent in. Yes, all of these things could also lead to domestic violence too. And sometimes you also hear women returning it back to men. Sometimes when they have been beaten and beaten and beaten, and then you get them, they push them to the wall, they turn back, and then they now like, oh, today. Sometimes they wouldn't even tell you, I didn't even know what came over me. Temporary insanity. You just come on like that, and then but the crime is already committed. Well, thank you so much, everyone, again for joining us. Dr. Mojes is going to give us a final word here on this platform on yes, how can women go out there and be the best that they can be? Part of what we give as definition to mental health is realizing your potential. So, Dr. Mojes, your final word, please.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Okay, to every woman out there, to every lover woman listening to us today, thank you for this opportunity to speak to you and to unravel the issues and these issues surrounding women. So for women out there to be productive and to do all that they want to do and achieve, you must understand that you have great potential. The world is waiting for you, it's waiting for me, it's waiting for you, it's waiting for the girl child, irrespective of your age. Whether you are 65, you are 70, you are 20, you are 25, the world is waiting for you. So therefore, you cannot afford to go under. Therefore, shine, brush out your skills, do a lot of self-improvement courses, okay? Understand your weaknesses, get better, read, study, listen. This webinar is one of the ways you are learning. Read, do things, equip yourself, be skillful, equip yourself, and therefore you'll be super productive. I can assure you that you are going to send us great words in the future, maybe the next 6 months or 1 year, telling us thank you for motivating you on this journey. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. So self-love is important. Love yourself, appreciate yourself, have time. Even if you don't have a jacuzzi, pour water on your head. Pour it from head down to toe. Get more buckets of water. Pour it on yourself and enjoy yourself. Sit down outside, let fresh air blow, even if you are not in Banana Island or anything. Take care of yourself. Tell yourself 3 things. Appreciate yourself. I do that. I pat myself and tell myself, Oluwakemi, you're doing very well. Thank you so much, everyone, once again, for being part of this webinar. If you're feeling overwhelmed, that is why we're here in Yaba. We will always listen to you and we can direct you appropriately. So you can reach out to us at the end of this webinar and then we'll tell you what to do. We have core professionals here who will be ready to work with you. Please understand that Yaba is no longer the Yaba left that people used to know it as. No, we go beyond all of that. So please don't be afraid to come and talk to us. We are here to listen and to provide quality mental health that would help you. Yes, women should learn to discover themselves rather than pleasing others. Yes, thank you, Mrs. Ajagbemi. Thank you so much for sending that. I want to appreciate everyone who is celebrating women on this platform today. Women should take it easy. Life is sweet. Yes, life is sweet. Enjoy yourself. Even if it's 1,000 naira Ankara, please sow it well. Enjoy yourself and make yourself happy. Shine in it. Dance yourself. No ayefele and every other thing. Just have a cool day. No party, no nothing. Doesn't matter. Just enjoy yourself. Enjoy the best that life has given to you. Gratitude is important wherever you are, wherever you find yourself. Just be grateful for the opportunity to be alive and to live once again. And so it's great and it's indeed important to love yourself as a woman. And so until we come your way again next time, it's been great. This wonderful 1 hour again. We celebrate everyone who had been part of this webinar, both men, both women. Thank you for always joining us again. And then we'll come your way again on behalf of the medical director, Dr. Osi Ogun, and all the members of the Yaba Voice team want to say thank you once again. Next time, we will be looking at developmental issues in children, developmental disorders, children with that has issues, and how can we help them? And that's what we hope to be looking at next time. Until we come your way again, thank you for being part of it. Please remember that you need to stay out there and give yourself a pat, give yourself a hug, even if nobody is hugging you. Bye. Stay safe and take care.